Good day, my viewers. Good day, my subscribers. This video is all about calculating pump head. Now, for us to start, we need to change this from rectangular to isometric drawing. So now, go to drawing. We'll click this set isometric drawing mode. Um, I will add a tank. I'll add a tank here. Now, let me bring this to 40. 40%. So I'll add tank here. Okay, let me make it 50. Now add tank here. Now the tank should be at sorry, let me select the tank. So the tank should be an atmospheric tank, and the elevation, the water level should be at 3. Okay, no, this is in metering. So I need to change it from metric to imperial. By going to the units, click imperial. Then I also need to change the flow unit, the flow rate to US gallon per minute. Click OK. Now the liquid level should be 3. The elevation of the tank is 45. What we are building is a 12 air handling unit. It's a 12 air handling unit. So now what I will now do is, well, we needed to calculate the pressure head, the pump head, not the pump head of the pump that will do the job. So now I need to now add a tank, a pipe. So I'll click this pipe, add pipe button. I'll select this tank. Now I will not draw a line from here to here. Now this steel pipe length, diameters, roughness, I needed to redefine this default pipe value. So I'll just say yes. Now here, the pipe we're supposed to use is 8 inches pipe. The size, the material. Now, but if you want to change material, you come to this material button and change material. But this material is what we're using. So we're not changing material. So I'll just say I'll just close this. Then I'll go back to this one. The diameter. The diameter we're using is 8-inch diameter, which is this. I'll just select it, then click this transfer select size here and click save. Now the length of the pipe we're using, this length is 60 feet. So I'll just click OK. Now the next pipe we're drawing, we draw a pipe from here to here. So this pipe, the length is 10 feet. The length is 10 feet. That is all I needed to change here. Then from here to here, draw another line. The length is 4 feet. From here to here, draw another line. the length is 10 feet. Then from here to here, I draw another line, the length is 4 feet. Now I also draw another line from here to here, the length is 85 feet. Then I will draw another line from here down to here, the length is 12 feet. I will draw another line from here to here. Now, but before I do that, before I do this, now the length, the length from here to here is 10 feet. It's 10 feet. So, but the elevation here is not 45 feet. So we need to make changes. So for us to make changes, we select this point, then select this pipe value, then come here. See, we have selected two values. So now we need to change the elevation of those two values. The elevation of those two values is 34 feet. So I will just say, I will just click this copy node elevation. Just this is what I will click. I'll click this button, copy node elevation. Click OK. Click OK. So now I can use any of this, it's still okay. So now when you select this, it's 35. Now this is 35. So now I will now draw another line. I'll draw another line. Let me just select the line for the add line button. I will now draw a line from here. I will draw a line from here to here. Draw another line from here to here. Draw another line from here to here. Now this line is 10 feet, but this one will be the will be the length of the default value we made amend. So now we're going to change the default values now. So now, and from here to here is supposed to be like 4 feet. Okay, there's no need changing it. But here now, the size of these pipes are not 8 inches. These are the sizes of this pipe are 66 inches. So I will just select this, select these pipes. Now I will now come here, select this pipe, then change the size to 6 inches. I will now select 6 inches, then say transfer select size. Say, having said transfer select size, I will now say save. Now this is 6 inches. I will now say copy internal diameter. Copy internal diameter. Copy outer diameter. Okay, this one, copy internal and outer diameter. This is what I'm supposed to click. So the roughness in pipe roughness and pipe materials are the same. So I will just say okay. I will exit. So now I will now select this show item information. So now when you look at this, it's 6 inches now. 6 inches. So that is it. So now the next thing we're going to do is to draw another line from here to here. Now this line from here to here, you see the starting point to the ending point, this one now is 34. So we need to make it 30 feet. The elevation of the joint. From here is 34. From here it will be 34 because its starting point is 34. So it will inherit the elevation. But now we want it to be of different elevation. So we'll make here 30. So what the length of the length of that pipe should be 40 feet. Now we need to draw another line from here to here. Now the length of this pipe is 4 feet. It's supposed to be 4 feet. Now we draw another line from here to here, from here to here. So now, okay, this thing is not in line. So from here, now from here is this is supposed to be 4 feet. This one, the whole of this is supposed to be 4 feet. So what I will do, I will copy this um this member, this segment that is 4 feet. I'll copy the pipe attribute and add and put it and transfer it to this one so that this one will now turn to 4 feet. When you look at it, this is 60 feet, 60 feet, 60 feet, 60, 60. So I will change this. So for me to do that, I will select this. I rather right click and say set as the fourth pipe, or I'll come here, click set as the fourth pipe. So let me right click and select set as the fourth pipe. So now set as the fourth pipe. Now I will now select this pipe, this pipe, this pipe, this pipe. Now I haven't done that. I'll come here, click copy all pipe data. Now copy it, all the pipe data. I'll just copy because I haven't set that to default. The whole of this is default value. So I've copied all of them to the 4 feet. So when you check now, you need to select this. When you check now, you see they are all 4 feet now. They are all 4 feet. So the next thing I'm going to do is I will now draw a line from here, join to this point. Draw another line from here, join to this point. Draw another line from here, join to this point. Now I also need to draw line from this point to this point. And now this point here, the dimension, okay, let me just select the dimension of this line. The length of this line should be 10 feet. Now these are the ones we drew. Now what I'm going to do now is the dimension of this is 40, this one is 10 and 4 4 4 because the default length now is 4 feet. So now, but before we proceed, I needed to add a fitting along this line. Now, the fitting we are going to add now is we are going to add a control valve. I select here, or I come here, select this button. I can add fittings or control valve or components either from this point. Having selected this, I can select here. But if I didn't select anything, let's say there is nothing is selected. So now what I will do, I will just come here. I want to add control valve. So I will just click on this control valve. Click here. Now I needed to add a control valve. So I will just, the name of the control valve should be FCV 120 US gallon per minute. Now, so I'll change this to US gallon per minute. I'll just type in 120. And when you check now, there are three types of control valves here. There's flow control valve, there's pressure reducing valve, there is back pressure valve. So, but the one we're using here is flow control valve. So now we'll just click OK. Now we have the flow control valve here. Then the next thing is to add our components. So now I'll select here. So the name of the flow component is air handling unit. Air handling unit 3.1. Now the component type is curve loss, not fixed loss. So now for curve loss, what we're supposed to use for curve loss is the value. Now here now supposed to be gallon per minute, So now here now is feet per fluid. That is feet head. So for zero flow, we have 0. For flow rate of 50, we have for flow rate of 50, we have 4.3. Then for flow rate of 100, we have 15.5. For flow rate of 150, we have 32.8. Now that is it. So now this is the air handling unit we added here now. So we just say okay. Now we have added fittings here now. So these fittings we added, we can now decide to, now these fittings we added, we can now copy the default value of this, as in copy the pipe attribute from this into this remaining 3 pipes. So the way we're going to go about that is we just select this pipe. We select this pipe, right click, select set as default pipe. Click yes. Then now select this button. Then select this pipe, select this pipe, select this pipe. Now we now come to this button, this pipe, this pipe default drawing. So now under this section, we now have to say copy all pipe data. Now the whole of this is now default value. Haven't made that this pipe default value. Haven't changed the default value to the default value of this pipe. So now I will now copy those parameters, those components, those fittings, and every attribute of this pipe into these other pipes. So I will just say copy all pipe data. We just click it, copy all pipe data, say okay, click OK. Now, you see, the whole pipe now has that information. So, but for us to continue drawing, we need to change because we don't want to draw them. Because if you draw any line now, it will carry these fittings, this control valve and fittings. So we need to make changes. So now, but for us to make there are some changes we needed to make on this flow rate. Now, this flow rate is supposed to be 120. This one is 120. This one is not supposed to be 120. This one, we need to change it. This one is supposed to be 110. So I'll change this to 110. I'll click OK. This is supposed to change to, this is supposed to be 105. Here is supposed to be 105. So I'll change it to 105. Then here is 31. Here is 3.1, not 31, 3.1. Then here is supposed to be 3.2. Here is supposed to be 3.3. Here is supposed to be 3.4. Now we are done with this whole arrangement. Now we needed to now draw a line from here down to a point here. Let me see, a point here. Okay, I didn't change the attributes. So I needed to change the default attributes, the default pipe value attribute. So now, for me to do that, I'll select this, right click, set this plain pipe that does not have any fitting as default attribute. Say yes. This is 4 inch. So now I would just select this button, select this, then change it to default attribute for that. So now copy all, say yes. Then now the length is not supposed to be 4 feet. The length is supposed to be 100 feet. So I'll change it to 100 feet. So I'll just say copy only length, copy length, say okay, click OK. Now we have changed the default setting to this value. So now the next thing we're going to do is this whole information. This whole information is a repetition. So now instead of not to repeat it, so what I will do is that I will copy. I will just click copy. I will select the um, ISO select items. I will now come here, select this point, go here, select this. Now I need to unselect this. I don't need to copy this along with them, but let me just still copy it, and now maybe I'll go delete it. Since this part is selected, let me see what I can do. So now I needed to copy the whole of this because we are going to replicate this. This is the third floor. We are going to replicate the same thing on the second floor and the first floor. So now I will just click copy, paste. Now having paste, I will now select and move down to this place. Now click attach. Say yes. Now on this point, I will select it and delete this one because I don't need that point. I will click this delete button. I don't need that one. Now I will also do the same. I will also paste again. Move this down. Move it down to let's say this point. So now I need to delete this one. Click the delete button. Then I need to draw a line from here and join here. And join this line. So I haven't done that. So I will also draw a line. Also draw a line from here to here. Draw another line from here to here. Now, having completed these lines, what I will do is that I will now select these lines. These lines are 100 feet, which is not, this one is supposed to be 100. Here is supposed to be 100. Let me see. So this is 100. This is supposed to be 16 feet. This is 16 feet. This is 16 feet. Now, I haven't done that. I haven't done that. Now, we needed to, now let's see. This length is 10 feet, 10 feet, correct, 10 feet, 10 feet. This is 4 feet, 4 feet, 4 feet. Yes, also 4 feet, 4 feet, 4 feet. So we needed to make changes here. Now for us to do that, make that changes, I will now select this whole thing. I will now click this button here to zoom to that point. So now here, this one here is supposed to be 100. This one is supposed to be 100 gallons per minute. This is supposed to be 100 gallons per minute. Then here is 90 and 85. So that is what I want to do now. I'll select this, change this to 100, change this to 100. Click OK. Then change this from here, change this to 2. Click OK. The same thing I will do here. Now, instead of to do that the same thing I will do here. We'll just select these changes to, I'll change this to 2 feet. Sorry, to 2, not 2 feet, sorry. I'll change this to 2.2. Change this same thing to 2.3. Change this to 2.4. Now, here, I need to change this to 100. 100, these two. 100. I needed to change this to 90 gallon per minute. So this control valve is setting the flow rate at this particular set flow, so that with this we have conditioned the flow rate that is coming into all these pipes by virtue of these values we introduce here. So now that is it. So now here is 90. This should be 85. This is 85. Click OK. Then the length of this pipe, the length of this particular pipe is 24. So here is supposed to be 24. The length of this pipe is 24. The length of this pipe is 32. The length of this pipe is 32. Now, the length of this pipe is 40. This is 40, 40, 40, 40. So this and this is supposed to be 40. This one is 30. This one is 30. This is 30. Now, having done that, I haven't made these changes. So now let's go back to the whole arrangement. No, now let's now come back to here. We need to select this whole pipe. Zoom to selection. Now, this is supposed to be 30 1.1. This is supposed to be 1.1. This one is 1.2. This is 1.3. This is 1.4. Now, the flow rate here, is 90. Here is supposed to be 90, 90, 90. The same here, the flow rate here is 90, 90, 90. So we have changed this to 90, 90. So now this other one also should be, this is 85. So this is 80. This should be 80. The flow rate here should be 80 gallons per minute. The flow rate here is 75. The flow rate here is 75. The flow rate here is 75. Now, the length of these pipes, the length of this pipe is this one. The length of this pipe is 44. Is 44. The length of this pipe is 44. Is 44. Now the length of this other pipe is 28. The length of this pipe is 28 feet. 28 feet. The length of this one is 28 feet. Now, when you check, this whole pipe is 6 inches. So what is supposed to be 3 inches. So now we will now make some changes now. I will select this one, change this to 3 feet, change the size. I will just come here, change it to 3 feet. Change the size to 3 feet. Select the 3 feet, then transfer selected size. Click save. Now, what I will do now is right click. I will either right click, set at default. I don't need to set it at default. There's another way to go back. I will just select here, select this whole material, the whole of it. This is another method to do that, to copy the pipe attribute. I will now select the whole of it. The whole of this is supposed to be 3 feet. Now, this one is also supposed to be 3 feet. So this is supposed to be 3 feet too. It's supposed to be 3 feet. So now, what I will do next is, having selected all of them, I have changed this, but I can still select it. Let me see. Let's see. Now, having selected all of them, I will come here, select this. Now, what I needed to change is just this. So I will just come here, change the size of pipe to 3, select the 3-inch size, transfer it, click save. Now I have changed the default pipe setting. Now what I would now need to do is to, for all this pipe I've selected, I will now need to click this button, which is copy internal and outer diameters. I will just click this. I will click OK. Now, if you check now, the whole of this is now 3 inches with those 8 original. The only thing that changes here is just the size, the diameter. Every other thing remains the same. Like this one that is 30 meters is still 30 meters, but the only thing that changes here is the diameter. Now this one is supposed to be the length. We're supposed to change the length. The length is supposed to be like 100 feet. So now I will use this button to select them. I'll select this, select this, select this, select this, select this, select this. Now the length is supposed to be 100 feet. So what I will do is I will select here, I will select that button. So it's supposed to be 100 feet. If you see, these are 4 4 feet. So I will just say copy pipe length. I'll click this, click OK. Now when you check the lengths now, the length are now 100 feet. So we are done with that. Let me see, this is 16 feet, 16 feet. So this is 10 feet. So we're done with all this. So what we are going to do next is we're going to draw a line. Let me now, let me zoom into this. Let me zoom into there. So to zoom into this, what I will now do is I will need to draw a line. Now drawing a line, but before I do that, I need to change the default value. The default value from there is that one's supposed to be like 8 inches. So it's supposed to be 8 inches. I need to change the default value before I draw. This is the 8. I'll select this 8 inches and transfer. Click save. Then the whole other things are the same. I can leave the length because after I can make changes to the length. It's okay. Now I need to draw a line from here to here. Let me say to this. Let me say to this point. So you see it's 8 inches. Now the length of that pipe is supposed to be 200 feet. Now I'll also need to draw another line from this point up, 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 up to this point. And the length of this pipe is supposed to be 120. Now I will now draw another line from here to, let's say, here, and the length of this pipe is 30 feet. No, it's 30 feet. So the length of this line is 30 feet. So then, having done that, at this end I need to change the joint to end pressure. Then select this, change this to vertical end pressure, then say save icon, so that it will be falling like shower into this tank. Now having done that, what we're going to do next, is we need to now zoom into this point. Now we needed to add pump here and here. So for us to do that, I will just select this pump. Although I don't know, okay, before I do that, let me just leave that one for now. Let's leave that for now. Let's leave that for now. Now this I need to select this. Now there's a fitting I needed to add to this pipe at the end of that pipe. So I will just select this fitting icon, select this pipe. Now the fitting icon I needed to select there, I needed to add this is open pipe exits. Open pipe exit, which is this. Open pipe exit. So I haven't selected it. I will just say add selected item onto pipe. So it should be at the end. Now I will just click save. So it's here at the end now. Now if you check, you will see it at the end, which is here. That is it here. So now, so we are done. We are through with the drawings. Let me check. Here is 10 feet. It's supposed to be 10 feet. Here is 100 feet. It's 100. Yes. Okay. This is 4 feet. 4 feet. 4 feet. This is 4 feet. Now there are things that we needed to make changes now. Now, if you look at this, the elevation of here is 3 feet, 34 feet. The elevation of these joints are 34 feet, 34 feet, 34 feet, 34 feet. The elevation of this joint is 30 feet, 30 feet, 30 feet, 30 feet, 30 feet. Now, the elevation of this is still 30 feet, 34 feet. The elevation is 34 feet. Look at it here. So, but it's not supposed to be so. The elevation of this point. Now let's now select this. I will now select this point, this point, this point, this point, and this not node point. So all these node joints supposed to be 20 feet. So I'll come here, select this button, go to node data. That is a tab, node data. I'll change that information to 20 feet. So I'll just copy node elevation to those selected points. I'll click OK. Now, if you select these points, you see there are 20 feet now. If you go close to it, if you hover around them, see they have changed to 20 feet. So I will do the same to this other part. This other side is supposed to be 16 feet. So I will select here, 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 and here, these nodes. Now I need to change it to 16 feet. Now we'll just say copy node elevation to those selected nodes. Now if you look at them now, these are 16 feet. The elevation of joints is now 15 feet, 16 feet, sorry. 16 feet, 16 feet, 16 feet. This one is 20 feet. Now we are going to do the same to these ones too. I will select this. I will now have to select these node points. I need to change the node value to the node. Go to node data tab. Change this value to 2 feet. So the node point is supposed to be 2 feet. 2 feet. We'll say okay. Now this point also supposed to be 2 feet. This point here is supposed to be 2 feet too. So now let's go back again. Let's go back again. 2 feet. Then just copy node elevation. Click OK. Now if you check the node elevations, they are 2 feet now. They are 2 feet. So now this other point supposed to be 6 feet. This other node points. If you mistakenly select any point, any line, you reselect it to unselect it. So now if I select this, if I want to unselect it, if I select it again, I will unselect it. Now this node point is supposed to be 6 feet. So we'll go to the node data tab, change the elevation to 6, then say copy node elevation, click OK, click OK. Now if you check these points now, they have changed. It is now the node points is now 6 feet. So we are done with that. Then here the node point here is 30. The node point here is 2. So now the node point here need to change. Let me just select it. There is no need. The node point here need to change to 75 feet. And then the node point here need to change from 30 to 75 feet. So it's 75 feet now. 75 feet. So having done that, let me open the Excel sheet. As the Excel sheet is opening, let me just pause it. Now let's save this drawing. To save it, I can click this save file, or I can come here, say save file. I can just say save. Now I want to save this file as pump head calculation. Pump head calculation. Now look at it. It has changed to pump head calculation. So now let's go to change it to isometric. Let's go to, let me go to this point. Now let's select this point. The pressure is 3 psig. So having done that, we need to add a pump here. So for us to do that, we don't know the pump that we're supposed to add there. So for the start, we add with the pump we're going to add is a fixed, is what we call a fixed flow pipe pump. I say pipe, a fixed flow pump. So now we know that the flow rate here is 120, 120, 110, 105. So we needed to add all these flow rates. We need to add all of them, then know the flow rate the total flow rate, the total demand, flow demand. Now let's look at it now. You have here to be 120, 120, 110, 105. Let's just put it here. You have 120, 120, 1, 110, 105. Then we have here 100, 100, 90, 85. So 100, 100, 90, 85. Then the next one, we have 90, 90, 80, 75. 90, 90, 80, 75. So let's total them to know the, so we total all of them to know the total flow rate, to know the total flow rate in gallon per minute that the system needs. So now, having known that, because when you look at it now, when you look at it, these are the whole of this, we have defined the flow rate from this down to all this. So now, if you sum all of them, you know the total flow rate that's supposed to be flowing from this point down to this point and back. So having known the total flow rate, we are going to use fixed flow. We are going to use fixed flow to select the pipe, the pump. So we don't know the pump. So we first, now having known the flow rate, we can now calculate the pump head. If we get the pump head, we can now make selection of the kind of pump that we are supposed to put there. So now what we're going to do next is we come up here. Now we needed to add a pump here and here. So now let me select this point. I need to add pump here. Now, so I will use constant flow rate. So we know the flow rate. What we calculated there was 1165. This is the flow rate we calculated. So now I haven't set this. I will now say save pump to pipe. So that is it here. We also need to add the same pump to this other pipe. Now is the same flow rate we're going to use. So now, and click save. Now this pump and this pump, these are spare pumps. These are if one is working, the other one will not be working. That's the way it is. So if this one is working, this one should be shut down. So because it is designed to be able to it is designed that each of them is supposed to be able to execute is supposed to be able to transport, be able to flow the fluid along the system, the piping network. So what we're going to do now is I need to now remove this pipe, this pump, and also short this line. So I need to short this line. To short this line, I will use here to close the pipe. So this pipe is closed now. So it's a closed pipe. So that means there is no flow passing through this place. Now run. Let's run it and see. The thing, it will not run. Now it did not run because it is over controlled. You have a fixed flow here, fixed control, you have a control flow, control flow, control flow, control flow. So now for the thing to run, what I will do now is I will remove control here, control flow here. I'll just uncheck this, uncheck this, uncheck this, uncheck this. So now I've made the flow here uncontrolled. So what I will now do is to now run the system. Now it's run with one warning. What is the warning? The warning is just okay. Yes, I purposely close that system. That place is closed, so it's a zero flows. It's not an issue. Now let's look at the pump head. The pump head here, look at it. The pump head is 85.893. So this is the pump head. We have calculated the pump head for this system. Although the system is not the way they want the system to be, because we have made this place is not controlled. So we needed a system where this place should be controlled, but here now will not be controlled. This one will have a variable flow pump. So now let's recalculate. Now we are looking at making use of so having calculated a rough estimate of 85.89 feet head. So now what we'll do, we'll change this pump. We'll change it from that is a constant flow rate pump to a variable flow pump. So now for me to do that, I will now come here, select the open pump database. At the open pump, I will now select search. So at the search, I can change to this or this one, depends. Now, I will now change this one. The flow rate is 1165. The pump head is 85.893. So now I will click this find pump. This cannot solve this one that have a higher head. So this is 88.11. So this is better. Okay, let me see this. Um, let's select this and increase the diameter so that this value will increase. So now having increased this, we can now say save. We now change this to fixed flow. I can leave it as variable flow if yes. Let me just run. We solve with one issue, so the same issue. So let's see. Let me see first. So the pump head is 88.85. Now let's but we needed this place to be fixed flow, to be a control flow. So we now have to check this box. Now I need to check all these boxes to make it a fixed flow. So now let's calculate. So why? So okay, they cannot be negative. Cannot be negative. So okay, let me now increase the pump. Mm, let's make use of another pump. Let me say this 123.45. Let's increase size. So now let's use this. Now so let's save and run. Let's see. So it solved because that pump was very low pump. So that pump could not solve it. So now this pump was able to do that. So that pump of 85 is not workable. So that was why it could not solve. So now, but now we increase the pump head, it was able to solve it. So now we now have 124.0. So now let's now say create PDF report. Let's click okay. Now here you can clear the image here. Now load your own image. You can load your own image here. You can decide to say okay, your company image. So since I don't have a company image, I can just load any image here. So now I can load any image. Let me say, let's say profile picture. Now can load this. Now here you can change this to your company logo. Let's say arbitrarily. So you can now say the project might be 12 air handling units for 3 floor. So now I haven't done this. I can just say create. I can use this default information. Let me remove the mass flow. I can add the material if I choose. I can just now I need to add the pump head, the friction loss. So yeah, okay. So now let me say create. So you see it comes with my name, pipe flow design. So now this is the company name, the projects and all that. So now this is the drawing. Now this is the fluid. Now here you have the pump head is 124.03. you have the fluid data, you have the design curve, the shorting pressures and all that. See, then this is the data point for the pump. So the data point for the pump, this is the flow, this is the head, this is efficiency 74.9, which is okay. This is the power. The power is 48.79 horsepower. So this is the required net. This is the net positive suction head required. This is 6.36 feet head. Now, if you look at the sheet, the net positive suction head available available. Let's go down to, okay, we have passed where the pump is. Let's see. Let's see where the pump is. Where the pump is. Okay, it's not here. It's not here. But let's look at it here from here. So this is pump. So the net positive suction head required. It's okay. The net suction positive head required is 34.887, while the net positive suction head, sorry, the net positive suction head required is 6.362, while the net positive suction head available is 34.887. So this value is supposed to be bigger than this for the pump to work well. So the available is supposed to be greater than the required. So now, so it's okay. Then the pump head now is 124.05. So we have made a better selection, a better choice. Having done that, roughly we've got 85.89. That did not give us, when we run it did not give us enough head to be able to run the system. The reason why it did not do that, because when we were running the system, we remove we remove some of the control here. So that gives us a very low pump head. So but we now use it as an estimate to be able to know. So having done that, we now had to increase to see that we now saw that the this thing, the suction head, we saw that the head, it could not be able to run the system. It could not be able to satisfy that particular 85, could not satisfy the system. That is why we now had to increase it to make a better selection, pump selection, which now was able to run the system. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and also hit the notification bell. Also hit the like button if you also like this video. Thank you for watching.